Smoke until the stupid state, stay until it's late. Sweet like chocolate cake, talk just like the shit I roll off paper plates. Search for sweet escape because inside I feel I'm dying slow. I tell you all that.
What is going on, my dogs? My name is Madison and I'm the Auction Dog, and today I'm coming back to you with video 2 on this E36 M3 that we just picked up. Before we do hop into the video, if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. If you watch the video and you like the content that we're putting out, please consider it. You know, maybe like the video, drop a comment, let us know if you do like these kinds of cars, or if you don't, or if you think BMWs suck and you like Volkswagens. I don't know, could be a little bit of both. So, to hop right into it and give you a little bit of a backstory, the previous video that we dropped of this car is a good one, honestly. We picked this E36 M3 up in St. Pete, more like Gulfport, but it's St. Pete, very, very close to us, about an hour north. And it's been really a dream driving it for the last week, but I've had a chance to really go through it and look at all the stuff that is wrong with it, as well as the stuff that's right about it. And it's got a long list for both, honestly. So, this is what we're working with right now. This is my 1999 Techno Violet E36 M3 convertible. It's honestly really, really good for what it is, you know, for the price that I paid for it. And I'll reveal that at the end of this film. So it's got a lot of stuff wrong with it. It's got a lot of stuff right about it, but it needs a lot of things too, honestly. And I'm really stoked that I was the one that was able to freaking dig this thing up. This car's been out of circulation for a long time, and it's sitting in the shop when I got it. And I was just stoked to be the guy that brought it home. So I'm gonna hop right into it with you guys and let you know the kind of the stuff that I think's wrong with it and kind of the stuff that's bothering me about it, as well as the stuff that I think's really, really good about it. So to begin, you know, one of my favorite things about the car is that it is bone stock. You know, it is so hard. I mean, besides the really cheesy grille and the fog lights, the car is bone stock front to back. And it is so hard to find an E36 M3 that is in factory form like this. At least it has not been modified, has not been changed. You know what I'm saying? Just is as it's supposed to be. And the fact that it's also Techno Violet. It's quite a rare color. It's kind of just as rare as, you know, Dakar Yellow or Storo Blue, whatever else. There's a lot of other rare individual colors out there, but they're not individual colors, but a lot of rare colors out there for the E36 that aren't TAG or whatever else, you know, or black or freaking Boston green. But I'm really, really stoked that I've always wanted a Techno car, and it's beautiful. But you know, that kind of leads me into the first thing that's wrong with the car is the fact that it has been painted on multiple times. And you couldn't really tell until I actually washed it. And it's dirty again for me driving it for a few days. But the hood's been repainted. The hood's kind of like darker. The top of this fender's been repainted. It's also the same shade as the hood. It's like just a little bit darker. And you can see that the factory paint's not wrinkled like that. This is factory. All of this is factory. This is all good. Everything looks really good. You can tell the color, right? It's beautiful. The trunk's the same color as the hood. So somebody repainted the trunk and the hood. They were probably roached, and that's why they did it. I get it, but they didn't get the shade right at all. I don't know if you guys can see that if it's come through on the camera. It's too dark. It's point blank period, it's too dark. And it kind of sucks, honestly. I'm gonna have to figure out if I can repaint it, but getting it to repainting it to get it and getting it to match is gonna be two different things, you know? This door has also been painted on. So you can tell just the shine of it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that was done at a different time than the hood because it's kind of a different shade, but it's mix matched all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of bothers me. And the previous owner also spatted the whole car up. Like he put, like, you can kind of see the remnants of the 3 stripes there, 3 colored stripes. And they were on the side skirt. They were all over the place. And then the stupid cheesy grill that people put on. You know, I can't stand any of that stuff, honestly. And back in the day, these were cheap cars. So this kind of stuff was really common. But this is just absolutely absurd to me to be on an M3 these days. So I got to get rid of all that stuff, as well as the yellow fogs. I want nice clear fogs. I want it to look completely factory. And this car is going to stay stock. I really want to restore this thing completely back to stock, you know, and just make it look bitchin' front to back. And that's exactly what we're going to do with it. So The other things that I really do like about the car is just how well it drives. Honestly, it drives just as you'd want it to. It does every single thing you want it to. It has cold air, runs and drives perfect. You can go 100 miles an hour down the highway just as you want to. You know, it's got 105,000 miles on it. It's got a clean title. It's got so many things going for it that would make this car just the best acquisition ever for the price that I paid for it. And like I said, I'll reveal that at the end of the video. And dude, it's just like, it's so hard to find this right here. You cannot, it's for sub $10,000. There's no way you're buying an E36 M3 that's stock like this, that's running, driving, cold AC, every single thing that's right with it. And it's just unheard of. It's never gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And I just stumbled into the right place, right time with a pocket full of money, and I was able to take this thing home. So let's go ahead and look on the inside too, because this will lead us into the second thing that I really don't like about this thing, is that the top doesn't work, okay? And the previous owner clearly could not figure out why. The windows also don't work. The two front windows don't work. But clearly the owner could not figure out why, because he disassembled the whole car trying to figure it out and searching through everything. Took the top module out, but instead of just pulling out the center section, which what they should have done, they removed like all of this crap. The back seats are out, you know, and everything's been just taken apart and blown apart. And luckily I have another car for me to reference, and it makes it easier to put this one back together. But if I didn't, and I had never worked on one of these before, you'd be up the creek without a paddle, dude, because you don't have any of the part or any of the like reference necessary to be able to figure out where all the plugs go, everything. You know what I'm saying? It just creates for a really bad situation to go back into somebody else's project that they didn't get to finish, and it'd be like this, you know. But the interior really does have some benefits. The previous owner paid to have the seats redone, and they're in a really high quality leather, and the rears just look just as good as the fronts. I mean, they are freaking mint, dude. They are so mint. It's crazy, you know. And the steering wheel's roached. That's why this stupid freaking wheel cover's on there. And then they also went ahead and, you know, installed a nice spatted freaking armrest cover. All of that stuff is so whack. I could expect those things on a normal 3 Series, but to have that in your M3 is just absurd. Like, we know it's an M3, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to put stickers all over the freaking place. It makes it look so cheesy. It really, really does. And so, I mean, honestly, when this is all back together, it's gonna look bitchin'. But I have not reassembled everything yet because I wanna make sure that I can figure out why the top's not working. I've tested both the motors work. I've gone through and inspected all the limit switches. They all look okay. They seem to be functioning. The latches in the front work, you know, which, and the only other thing the thing that's really, really puzzling me is that there's a piece of trim that's missing right here, right? So water's getting in there, and this is right above the top module. I really think that water got in there, fried the top module, and that's why this is not working. But I don't really know that. I have to try to get that top module tested before I really jump the gun and go buy one. But because I really don't like throwing parts at things, but I very well might. I don't know. We haven't really gotten there yet. But, you know, a plus side of the top is that it's actually in really good shape. The isinglass is good. Everything looks good. Know what I'm saying? Once it is functional, it will be perfect. And then I can go ahead and reassemble the car, honestly. And like I said, the rear seats are done. You know, the car is exactly as you'd want it to be, honestly. And also, I haven't reassembled the rear seats too because of this leaking issue. So if it does get some water in it, I can get it back out without it creating massive issues, you know. But that needs to be addressed first and foremost before everything else. And you'd be surprised how hard it is to actually find that little piece. You know what I'm saying? We don't have any convertibles in the junkyards around me right now. I gotta go an hour north or an hour and a half north to go get something like that. But really, this car is super tidy. So 105,000 miles, right? 105,000 miles, clean title. And the fact that it's under 125 and the engine bay looks like that, bone freaking stock. True Techno Violet, bone freaking stock, front to back. Everything is as it should be. Look, the fan shroud's not cracked. This isn't all cracked up, that little clip there. Everything's perfect. It's missing one freaking strut tower cap, and I've got some of those at the house, so I'm not too worried about that. But dude, it's just like, it's so tidy. Know what I'm saying? It's so tidy. And it's gonna be so easy to get it back to looking exactly how I want it to. So I'm freaking stoked, dude. I'm freaking stoked. I really am to have been the guy that took this thing home. I really, really am. We talked about the issues with the car. We kind of talked about what I find wrong with the car and also the stuff that I find right with the car. because there is a lot of stuff that's right. Don't think that this video is just all the crap that's wrong with this car. La-di-da-di-da. It's not, because this is a really good base to start from. And I'm really stoked to have picked this thing up. So, as we talked about, the interior is basically taken apart, but I have all the parts for it to complete all that stuff. The exterior has its flaws. It's got mixed match panels. Somebody's been painting on it, but the car does have a clean title, and it does have under 125,000 miles, which really are two things that really boost the value, at least because a lot of these cars are rebuilt, as you guys know. The blue car has had an accident, you know, but this car is clean title, beautiful, is exactly how you'd want it, you know. The motor runs great, drivetrain's perfect, there's no check engine lights, no issues with that. It's got cold air. Everything works as it should, besides the top, and the two front windows are a little wonky. And all of that stuff's fixable. All of that stuff has an easy solution. And so, to reveal what I've paid for this car, and you guys know the E36 market, it can range very, you know, heavily. Really, really clean cars are doing over 20 grand now. Easy. No problems. You know, medium examples, stuff kind of like this is doing 15, you know, all day long. Easy. If it's manual, it's doing 15 grand. If it's a manual coupe, it's doing 17 to 18. Easy. And that's a manual coupe with the white Vaders. That's a Miami coupe, just how you'd want it, you know. But I paid 7 grand for this thing. 7 G's for a clean title, 105,000 mile car, and it's got a boatload of issues, but it's got a lot of stuff going for it. Great bones, Florida Carson's new, and dude, what the hell? I can't even believe it. And honestly, I can't wait to bring the repair of this thing to the channel. So, first and foremost, we are going to address the top. And I think that it will be valuable to put this information onto the web for you guys to see, because this top isn't, obviously it's in good condition itself, but it's kind of been evading people how we can get to the bottom of this. And frankly, I don't know. I tested both motors, both of them work. All of the limit switches seem to be in good condition. And it really is kind of leading me back to look at, you know, the actual top module itself. So we'll address that in the next video. Also, both windows work, but it's just regulators. It's kind of getting to the point right now where I can, you know, you can hear the fact that they're trying to move, but the motors themselves don't move. They're frozen where they stand. And so after you address that kind of stuff, the car is more than usable. I'll put everything back together, and then it's going to be, you know, a nice E36 M3 with cold AC, and it's going to do every single thing that you'd ever want it to. And I'm so stoked to be having this thing in my driveway. So I think that I'm going to keep this car for a little while. I think obviously the 6 is for sale. I think I'm probably going to sell the wagon. I don't want to. I'll probably wait to sell that until I absolutely have to. But I will likely sell the wagon and keep both M cars, because it's just basically a redneck retirement program. I think that holding on to both M cars would probably be a really good idea right now, especially with the way the market is, and the fact that I entered into this thing for so cheap. I'm into it for basically nothing at this point, and I really think that it would be smart of me to hold this car, at least for the time being, and see what happens with the market and see where this whole thing goes, because friggin' A, I'm telling you right now, this is a huge money maker. I gotta sell this right now and double my money. But do I really want to do that, or would I rather just hold on to it and kind of, you know, see where this whole thing goes? Because in a year or 2 or 3 years from now, boy, forget about it. The way the E30 M3s or any other M cars, really, E34 M5s, E39 M5s. I mean, there's E39 M5s right now selling for $4,000 or $40,000, which is insane to me. You know, I can't even believe that cars from the early 2000s and late 90s are going for that, because these were $5,000 cars when I was young. You know, I paid $3,500 for that Estoril M3. It needed a lot of work when I got it, but $3,500 right now, people would, you know, they'd send you the money right now to hold that for them if you listed an M3 for that price, regardless of the mileage. It wouldn't even matter. If it had an S52 manual transmission in it, ran, you know, they wouldn't care. They'd send you the money immediately. So I'm really stoked to bring this video to you guys. You know, I really am. So I do apologize for the shoddy camera work in between. I had to switch cameras and kind of go back and forth, and this isn't usually the camera that I run and gun on. I know that these vlogs are kind of POV, like just point of view of me and how I live this life, and what I do to make money. You know what I'm saying? But I try to at least, you know, supply you guys with some good content, something quality that has a little bit of thought backing it. So I really do appreciate you guys watching these things. If you have watched this far, you know, consider subscribing. If we did earn your subscription today, that would be really rad. If you want to keep up with this build or this build and see what we do with that, or see how we finish off the wagon that's up front, definitely consider subscribing. Like the video. You know, I hate even asking for that kind of stuff, but it really helps boost the channel, honestly. And if you like seeing more of this kind of stuff, or you want if you want to help this channel grow, even, you know, honestly, it's just so much, it's so greatly appreciated, it's not even funny. And we also do sell merch on theauctiondawg.com. I don't have my shirt on right now, but we sell merch associating every car on theauctiondawg.com. We also will have a shirt coming out about the 6 and about the Techno Violet M3 too. Both of those will be on an Auction Dawg shirt. And we really enjoy bringing that kind of stuff to you guys, because it's fun to just wear those things, buy the shirt of your favorite build, and then just kind of, you know, rep it, help us grow. I really do appreciate everything that you guys have done for so far, and we are really building a sweet family. So thank you guys, thank you my dogs, appreciate you so much. Peace out, hope you have a good rest of your day, and yeah man, keep on wrenching, that's it.